There are a lot of men who are told that you must make $50,000 plus, have a house, car, jewelry, nice clothes, smelling nice, good cologne on, in order to date the modern average everyday woman today. But here I am to break that myth and to help you understand that your worth is more than the money you have in your paycheck or your bank account. Watch this video on why you're still worthy as a man to date the woman of today.
TunaBeats.com.
Good evening, good people out there in the world today. Welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone's having a great day today. I'm grateful to be sharing this wonderful message with you today in terms of what is going on with the modern day man from my life perspective. So let's go ahead and get right to the topic. The topic and the title of this video is a man must earn $50,000 plus to at least date the average modern day woman today. Now let's go ahead and get to the story and topic today. Why do I have a problem with that status or that topic or that statement? And I've even seen it on a dating app or something like that, right? And I can't remember the name of it, but that's not important. So where I'm getting at is, in today's society, we're defining manhood in men who were eligible bachelors to be husbands, eligible to be married, or husband-like material based on external factors that a lot of times don't really play a factor until you actually start getting to know the man. And we're basing men who are so-called eligible for marriage material or being married based off of external factors that truly don't make the mark or measure of a real man. And what I'm getting at is I've heard quite a few content creators discuss this topic before about what's going on with men, about how men should be moving, how men should date, and so on and so forth. And what I get at is I hear them talking about you have to get your money right, you have to focus on yourself, you have to focus on your purpose, become successful, earn over $50,000 plus, and then you can start dating these women today, right? But the average male today is not earning $50,000 plus until maybe about 30, 35, right? And men today are being taught that you have to have money, you have to have resources, you have to be someone that can have quality sex with women, and you have to be someone that just for some women, for some women, out there, not all women, but you have to be 6 feet tall, making six figures, and six pack, and so on and so forth, right? And the list just goes on and on and on. But the true measure and mark of a man is not measured based on the outer complexes that man has. There's a lot of great men out here that are working their way, building themselves up to become successful as men, and working and earning their way to become the prosperous men that God intended for them to be. And there's a lot of great men that are not going to be 6 feet tall. They don't have a six pack, right? But their character, the qualities that they have, make them great men because of who they are as people and how they carry themselves. And when I hear these statements from other guys, who are higher earning men, right? Oh, you gotta make $50,000 plus, and so on and so forth. It almost begs the question as to what is really wrong with the dating criteria for our society? Where do we get these numbers from? Because if we ask people from modern days, from from previous generations, previous centuries of marriage and relationships, people got married and they built their relationships together. Now, I wasn't born in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, right? But it seemed like people took the time to get to know more of each other. People took the time to understand and relate to each other more. People didn't just have these external factors of how much a man makes financially, what makes a man successful is determined the amount of women he can deal with, and so on and so forth. And I say all that to say is because there's so many great women out there, right, that oftentimes get confused with the fact that they have to wait at the finish line for these men in order for these men to date, at least have a chance to date them. And projectedly, right, by 2030, like they said, about 50% of the population of women are going to be single. Now, I find that to be sad, but at the same time, if you're a man, that's an opportunity to hopefully capitalize and for women to look at themselves and even change up themselves internally and fix up their dating criteria and characteristics, right? Because when I see the things that people are putting out today, as far as what qualifies a man to date, you don't know, people are saying you don't qualify for this type of man or type of woman because you're not earning this amount of money. But then he starts making that amount of money, and then his options open up, right, for the type of women that he can attract. But then the real question becomes, when you're dating out here, what are we dating for? Are you dating just to have women around? Are you dating to have a sense of purpose? Are you dating for marriage? So on and so forth, right? And I say all this to say is that a man's money does not determine the type of person that he is, right? A man must be wise with his money, for one thing. And a man must take into account what he's doing with his money financially, depending upon where he's headed or what type of direction he wants to head into. To tell a man he needs to earn $50,000 plus just to be able to date some of these women out here, or any of these women out here, is an anomaly. I think that's a limiting belief. Or, as a matter of fact, I don't think I know it's a limiting belief, because the true measure and mark of a man is a man who can provide no matter what he's earning, as long as he's out putting his best foot forward and working to provide for his woman and himself, and he's taking care of himself, not being a doormat, and doing the best he can for that relationship. That's really what should matter most. To tell a man that he needs to earn $50,000 plus, or a minimum 50,000 just to go out here and have a relationship, is ludicrous, right? I'm not saying for men to pretty much sit down and it's okay just to earn a 20,000 and a year, for example, and then you just pretty much give up and all right, that's where it stops at. you know a lot of times, as men, you should continue to self-improve and develop your life over time. But while you're self-improving, you still deserve to be loved. You still deserve to have a loving relationship. We are teaching men today that you need to earn a certain amount of money, have a certain lifestyle, have a house, car, and have it all together in order for you to live and date and even have a marriage or relationship of your dreams. And honestly, I look at life from a different lens or different perspective of that. If you are constantly telling men that they have to have everything figured out and put together by a certain age or a certain time limit, and they don't meet that criteria, as a woman, you're misled, right? And as a man, you're being misguided and being told a limiting belief, because now you start to lose a sense of confidence in who you are. You start to lose that sense of confidence and lack of attraction, because we all know a woman likes a confident man, right? A confident man that knows himself, knows his worth, and can develop his value over time can only measure up to help develop into a great man, right? And I say all that to say that when I see a lot of people out here today in society, talking about all these different criteria, what makes the mark of a real man, and so on and so forth. The characteristics of a real man They have nothing to do with the value of his balance or paycheck, right? Yes, it's great that a man is out here earning, and a man should continue to grow and develop into the best version of himself. But telling men that they have to earn a certain amount of money is a limiting belief that is hurting a lot of men today. And if you are a man listening to these content creators, I beg you to question what it is that they're saying. You don't have to attack these content creators, but question what they're saying and understand that every man is not going to have himself fully put together by a certain age, right? That doesn't mean to stop putting yourself together, working on yourself, continue to self improve. But you don't need $50,000 plus right then and there to date any woman. Like any woman that sees your worth and sees the quality and characteristics of as to who you are as a person, that's willing to date and have a relationship and even get married and build with you in that foundation, is a true mark of a good woman, right? And too many times we're confusing young women to think that they have to, have these men that are making more money than them. Career women out here talking about a man must make twice as much, the amount of money that she's making, or confusing them and thinking that it's okay for them to have these really high, eccentric standards for what a man is, when in reality, a lot of women tend to go against that, because when they get these types of men that they want, sometimes it doesn't work out or equate to what they like, because then they start realizing that sometimes it's the type that we like as people that don't measure up to what we truly need and value for our soul, right? Marriage is more than just the external factors. It's about a soul connection, a soul bond, right? That's why they call it soulmate, right? And I'm sure there's, a lot more other avenues and ventures to that quest. But at the end of the day, I'm just here to inform young men to continue to grow, self-improve, and better yourself for your own sake. Continue to define and develop yourself, but find your purpose in life, right? They say when you find your purpose, you find your mate. But at the end of the day, do not get caught up in this fantasy or these false beliefs, these negative tropes, these so-called external factors that you have to have it all together. You got to have at least 50,000 plus just to go date a woman, right? As someone who's dated women, I was just figuring out my life, trying to get myself together. Someone who's aspiring to be married and whatnot. I'm not saying to stop self-improvement. I'm saying that sometimes your mate comes along your path even when you're not at the best, in your life. And I'm saying don't miss an opportunity or a blessing because you feel like you don't have it all together, right? Date that woman if you have one. Build your life up, get yourself together, and define yourself. But the true measure and the true mark of a good relationship does not matter about the amount of money you have right then and there. You can still date a woman, right, on a minimal budget and be successful and have a good relationship. Now, if you're talking about, just, well, these are the average, average women the average modern day women expectations, so on and so forth, well, then maybe some of these average modern day women aren't for you, right? Maybe they aren't. And I hate to say it, but the way our society is today, people are losing interest because in long-term relationships and marriage because of the expectations of the external factors that have been long overdue and drawn out that have not equated to success. All right. So that is all for my video today. I just wanted to share that, some thoughts to get off my chest and that I wanted to kind of put out into the world today. Man, you are valuable no matter the dollar sign, the amount of zeros behind that dollar sign. Right? Your value does not or is not based on the amount of money you have. However, continue to grow your money, continue to self-improve so that you can take care of your family in the long run if you do desire to be married. At the end of the day, we must continue to grow to be our best versions of ourselves simply by finding a purpose, loving God, or putting God first, and just continue to be a good person in this world today. Thank you all for watching my video. I appreciate you. Hope you all have a great day. Please take the time to like, share, and subscribe to my content. And remember, To be informed is not to be woke. Stay conscious, my friend.